Clemson's football schedule is ranked where in 24/7 Sports strength of schedule ranking? We're going to talk about that in just a second. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I'm glad you're here. It's Monday, May the 13th. It's a dreary day here in the upstate of South Carolina. If you live in this area, you know what I'm talking about. If you're outside of this area, you're like, what's he talking about? Yeah, I guess if you know, you know. If you like what I'm doing, I hope you will subscribe and pass this along to your friends, your family, and to anyone who hates the look on my face. Love you too. I do appreciate it. Drop a comment in here and let me know that you're here. Already, Big John Setton's in here. Big John, it's good to see you. Good afternoon, young man. Call me a young man. I'm 41. I'm feeling really young now. Hope everyone takes time to subscribe, thumbs up, and join the channel. He did, and I hope you do as well. Thanks for supporting the channel, Big John. You see that little circle beside his name? That means he's a member. He supports on a monthly basis, $3 or $5 per month. Big John, thank you again. Let's dive in. So, 24/7 Sports releases their strength of schedule for the season, for the football season. Now, I'm going to start at number 15 because that's where they start. By the way, I left this article, the link to it, in the description below this video. Number 15 is the Wisconsin Badgers. Luke Fickell, it'll be his second season there. Number 14, the UCLA Bruins, now a member of the Big Ten, brand new head coach after Chip Kelly shockingly leaves. Brand new head coach Deshaun Foster. Now I really do feel old. I remember taking my SAT test. And it was a Saturday morning, then coming home and watching him play running back for UCLA. Went on to have a pretty solid career with the Panthers. He's now the head coach there. They're number 14. Number 13 is the Michigan Wolverines. This strength of schedule, folks. Number 12, the USC Trojans, another Big Ten team. It's weird to say that. Number 11 is the Kentucky Wildcats. And number 10, the Clemson Tigers. They say that we play the 10th strongest schedule in the country. Now, let's keep going. Keith, you guessed it. You guessed it. We're going to keep going. So we'll come back to Clemson's strength of schedule here in just a second. But in number 10, according to 24/7 Sports, the toughest schedules in 2024 ranked 15 through 1. Number 9, Alabama. Number 8, the Georgia Bulldogs. Number 7, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. 6 is Georgia Tech. Let's pause there. I'll read you off who they play this year. Remember, their very first game is against Florida State in Week 0 in Dublin, Ireland. Now, Notre Dame's been doing that thing over the, here and there over the past 10 years. That was really cool, but they played Georgia. They play Notre Dame. They have NC State. Of course, they have some other teams there, but those are some pretty tough teams. Number 5 is Vanderbilt. Number 4 is Oklahoma, new member of the SEC. Number 3 is the feathered foe of South Carolina. Get ready for the excuses to pile up. South Carolina plays the 3rd toughest schedule in all of college football, and they're going to be like, well, we play in the SEC, and Clemson fans are going to be like, well, hey, we want to join the SEC, and they're like, we don't want you joining the SEC. Really? Why is that? Number 2 is the Arkansas Razorbacks. Sam Pittman, good grief. It's just, here's the thing. These last 2 coaches, Sam Pittman, and then number 1 is Florida Gators. You got it. They have one of the worst schedules I've ever seen in my entire life, including Miami, Texas A&M, at Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State. That is why I said, and I'm not picking at Billy Napier. I think Billy Napier was not the right man for this job, not because he's a bad coach. It's just where Florida's at, and then adding insult to injury like this, this is just not a good fit. Billy Napier can coach football. I just don't think that he was the right man for the job. For this, I think he could have been the right man at another Power 5 school and did quite well. But I will be shocked if he's the head coach after about the 7th game this year. They're really, in Gainesville, Florida, they are tired of what's been going on, and that goes back all the way back to the Urban Meyer days. Urban Meyer really spoiled them. I mean, yeah, Steve Spurrier did, but Urban Meyer really showered it on. And then Sam Pittman at Arkansas. I would not be shocked if they fired him this year. But who wants to go to Arkansas and coach? Hey, high expectations. Yeah, Keith, the UF schedule is stupid. And, of course, you're a Florida State fan. You said you're here for it. Big John says 41 is just a mere baby. Brian, love the channel. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. Let's talk about Clemson's schedule, okay? Last night, I recorded a video, went live, talked about TJ Moore is on campus. I was talking about that's a big deal and you know what it means to Clemson. And I'm going to do another video. It's probably going to be tomorrow. Go ahead and let you know, unless I change my mind or some bigger news comes out. I'm going to do a video where I'm going to talk about moderate expectations, because there was a really good quote left in my comment box talking about, hey, moderate expectations, and I agree with that. And we'll talk about that later on. Not everyone is a Trevor Lawrence right off the bat. In fact, history tells us that's really not likely, no matter how talented they are. But looking at this schedule, if you look at Clemson's football schedule, it is not for the faint of heart. Out of all the schedules in college football, that Clemson in this year would open up with Georgia, what's basically a home game in Atlanta. Then your first home game is against a team who has been historically known to go into stadiums and beat great teams, much bigger than them, or play very, very well and almost beat great teams. Appalachian State, that's who I'm talking about. Then NC State comes to Clemson. Them, along with their new quarterback Grayson McCall out of Coastal Carolina. Now, it's hard to beat Clemson in Clemson. We know this. And a lot of people would say, well, that's kind of normal for most respectable home teams. This is true, but it is tough to beat Clemson in Clemson. But Stanford, at Florida State, at Wake Forest, that's not a big deal. Virginia, at Louisville, at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's doing a lot better than what a lot of people realize. At Pitt, I know very little about Pitt. The Citadel, and then, of course, South Carolina comes to Clemson after they've played the third toughest schedule all season. Now, for me, I would have liked for Clemson to open up with like Appalachian State, maybe mix in some Wake Forest early on, maybe some Virginia. Then you get into, sprinkling in a Florida State there, play a Pitt. Toss a Louisville in there, maybe a Georgia, at game 4, somewhere in there. And giving Clemson the time and Matt Luke the time to not only get into real game situations, but to make those real game adjustments. And that happens. With a coach like Matt Luke, that does happen. But our schedule, I'm not saying that it doesn't get easy. That's going to be a tough game with Virginia Tech. But in your first 5 games, it's not easy at all. Georgia being the toughest team in the country, in my opinion, in most opinion, front runner for the national championship. Dave Doran is always a problem to play, even though NC State's only beat us, 3 or 4 times in 20 years? They haven't beat Clemson at Clemson since, if my memory serves me correct, 2003. I think that was a Thursday night butt whipping, but 2003. And then going to Florida State, and I'm telling you, Mike Norvell is going to coach his brains out to make sure that DJ, if for any reason DJ wins that ball game, don't be shocked. He's going to do his very best to make DJ look good, if for that one game only. So Clemson has a tough schedule. So if anyone comes along and goes, man, I wished I played in the ACC, you need to give them this link. You need to give them this link. You need to remind them of this, because Clemson does have a great they have, after this 2023 season, there's a lot of feelings going on in the Clemson community about the 2024 season. We will see. Rob Ellen says Chad Morris wanted to coach at Arkansas. Yeah. Mark Bishop, supporter of the show. Mark, it's good to see you, and here's good to catch you live. You always comment. Caught your video with football addiction thanks to Pigskin Pete. Great discussion. Well, thank you so much. There should be a video posted by Football Addiction soon, because I recorded a video last week. Now, he's on his game. Now, he's really on his game. Me, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. TJ does a great job. I need to talk to Pigskin Pete. I haven't talked to Pigskin in a while. Love Pigskin Pete. UGA will win this game by either 6 or greater than 24. It'll either be close or not. Clemson will beat Florida State. I will tell you this, Big John, I feel the same way about the Georgia game. I really do. This is either going to be a game where Georgia walks out of there going, we beat the crap out of them. We are continuing our revenge tour due to dropping from number 1 to number 6 after a 3-point loss to Alabama, which was the first loss in 30 games and 2 consecutive national championships. We are taking it out on everybody out of that game, looking at one another, saying, we didn't expect that. I agree with you there. But you believe we're going to beat Florida State. I hope we beat Florida State. I hope we do. And I'm going to tell you this, I believe a lot of it. And I'm not picking at DJ. I'm just saying he has not had the career that he wanted. And the whole development issue thing, no matter who's to blame for it or who has ownership in it, that's going to play in our favor. I think it could play in our favor. David Wood, Miami has a chance to go undefeated. Johnny Williams, you do a good job with your show also. That's very kind. Well, thank you. David Wood says Florida State will lose 3 or 4 games. Tim Russell, there's only one game that matters. Georgia, win and move on. Lose and the spiral downward slowly continues. Some nice trash talk from Keith. Revenge for the fact that they lost to Bama? Yes. Great question, Rob. How would you feel about FSU if they had signed Ward instead of DJ? I would think that we would have less of a chance, because that type of quarterback is Norvell's specialty, right? He did what he did with Jordan Travis, and to me, Ward reminds me of Jordan Travis. But yeah, definitely. All right, folks, tell me what your thoughts are about the schedule. Let me know what you think. Throw those comments in the comment section. And we will see what goes on from now on. Hey, listen, if you have a guest that you would like to see on my show, let me know about it. Send me a comment, whether it's private or whether it's on the comment board. Let me know. And, I'll look into it. I don't always have everybody on because, it's just schedules can't work out. And then just sometimes I don't always it's just a lot of times it's schedule, right? But anyway, let me know. Also, I'm part of the College Huddle. College Huddle is a group of YouTubers and podcasters who represent their school. I'm representing Clemson, so go check them out, the College Huddle. It's on And then also, one last thing, if you want to be part of an email list, go to, you can just send an email to me, bobbydurkins@gmail.com. That's Bobby, BOBBYDIRKENS @gmail.com. And yeah, and let me know. Hey, put me on an email list. If I do any more Bobby Durkin stuff, I'll email you. I just put you in a group because a lot of people says that they're not seeing notifications. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. It's good to see y'all as always. Go Tigers.